Chapter 316. Not a Lord 2. Gururuk, Guruk, Sio Wayol gurgles something inside the clear scale armor. But I just grin widely. What are you saying? I can't hear you. The lake water nullifies most physical forces. That is the true nature of the clear scale armor. Sio Wayol tries to break free by exerting his spiritual power. But as I pour more strength into the clear scale armor, Sio Wayol's entire body is crushed, rendering him unable to resist any further. That's my body. The thought annoys me, but there's no other choice if I want to seal him. Splat. I realize that every time I use the clear scale armor, my body begins to deteriorate, so I undo my Ghost King transformation. It seems that without a flesh and blood body, using the clear scale armor is impossible. Chi. Each time I control the clear scale armor, I grow increasingly thirsty. I guess that this is some side effect from using the clear scale armor as a mortal. If the side effects of the clear scale armor get worse, who knows what might happen. I need to seal Sio Wayol as soon as possible. At that moment, excuse me, Elder. Did you capture that beast? I glance over at those cautiously observing me from the edge of the care layer. They are members of the Cold Spirit race, Leaf race, and Spirit Scale race from the Heaven tribe that I had seen at the entrance. Yes, but what do you need? That beast killed our comrades and stole their belongings. Please, allow us to retrieve our comrades' keepsakes. If it's Sio Wayol, that's entirely possible. I nod and say, tell me what keepsakes were taken. Yes. First, if you search the beast's inner chest pocket, there should be a red jade slip. Alright, I try to control the clear scale armor to extract the jade slip, but I find Sio Wayol's inner chest pocket to be tightly sealed. Did he steal some important Dharma treasure? Otherwise, there's no reason for Sio Wayol to guard it so closely. Elder, I have seen the sealing spell that beast used. If I explain, you might be able to reverse it and retrieve the item. Alright, explain. A member of the Leaf race approaches and draws the flow of spiritual energy in the air. First, gather the yin-cold energy like this, then extract the taiji from the yin-cold based on the power of the 8 trigrams. 1. Next, rotate the energy counterclockwise to form a circle. Compress the circle like this. Wing. Above the Leaf race member's hand, a violently rotating flow of spiritual energy emerges. Like this. Bo Wang. Without mercy, I accelerate my thoughts with Gang Sphere and strike the Leaf race cultivator's head with all my might. Kuang. The Leaf race cultivator is sent flying into the distance, but the wheel of yin energy he left created flies towards me. As I reach out to deflect the wheel of yin energy, my body suddenly freezes. Keying. 4 spirit scale race cultivators simultaneously use their spirit eye technique to bind me. These bastards. In the end, I can't avoid the wheel created by the Leaf race cultivator and am hit. Quaduduk. An overwhelming chill engulfs me. Having released my Ghost King transformation, the cold freezes my body. However, if I transform into my Ghost King which is strong against yin energy, it will hinder my control over the clear scale armor. Gnashing my teeth amidst the swirling cold yin energy, I accelerate my consciousness using the Mad Lord's circuits and ultimate pinnacle. At that moment, splat. I let out a hollow laugh as I see the one who suddenly appeared and stabbed me in the back amidst the cold mist. Why are you here? They're the Grand Perfection Heavenly Being Cultivator from the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. The ones who had sealed me just moments ago have appeared. All of them had taken the spells from the Cold Spirit race cultivators head on, perfectly hiding their presence, intent, and spiritual energy fluctuations within the cold energy to ambush me. I laugh hollowly as I look at them. Ah, I see. I understand now. Bulge, Bulge, the heavenly being cultivator of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect gives a kind smile as his body swells and then explodes while still stabbing me in the back. Flash, Kurururung, Wakak, Ku. I stagger back, coughing up a mouthful of blood. It's the self-destruction of a grand perfection heavenly being cultivator, possessing early 4-axis stage strength through the 4 symbols nascent soul at that. Using Great Desert to Dead Sea will heal me, but it will take some time. Wiping the blood from my mouth, I glance at the Leaf race, Cold Spirit race, Spirit Scale race, and the mystical scaled fish commanding sect cultivators in front of me, letting out a bitter laugh. They all wear the same unnervingly gentle and soft expressions. What is it, Taoist Sio? Didn't you want to have a proper fight? You guys, no, you. I glare at Sio Wayol, and growl. Which one of you is the main body? They all speak simultaneously, with sickeningly kind smiles. I am the main body. I am the main body. I am indeed the main body. Then, the combined attack of the CO whales begins. The CO whales possessing the cold spirit race cultivators release cold energy with a smile. Simultaneously, the CO whales possessing the leaf race cultivators receive and precisely manipulate this cold energy, amplifying its power before launching it. The mystical scaled fish commanding sect cultivators, supported by the cold spirit race cultivators, hide within the cold energy. They enhance their immortal beast true blood and target me in close combat. The spirit scale race cultivators in the rear use their unique spiritual abilities to either constrain my movements, cast illusions, or predict my actions and techniques. The four symbols nascent soul of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect is truly convenient. Storing external power separately and calling upon it whenever needed, how attractive. In itself, it maximizes the harmony of the heaven and earth tribes' powers, allowing one to surpass a whole realm. CO Whale laughs as he unleashes attacks on me. And thanks to you, Taoist CO, I can also use the power of the Mad Lord. Truly, Wo Wang, the Mad Lord's circuits are engraved on the body of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect cultivator, who is at the early 4-axis stage. Despite the immense pain, the cultivator under CO Whale's control doesn't flinch. In an instant, his power surges to the late 4-axis stage. I must express my gratitude. I grimace, releasing curses from my entire body. Yet, I am gradually being pushed back. The clear scale armor. The clear scale armor is draining my mental strength. Crack. Every time I focus on preventing the seal on my main body inside the clear scale armor from breaking, my thirst grows more intense. And at the same time, the group of CO whales are frantically freezing me to death like mad with their cold energy, driving me insane from the cold. If I don't transform into a Ghost King, my body will freeze solid from the cold. But using the Ghost King transformation will make controlling the clear scale armor even more difficult. It's a catch-22. At that moment, Puhek, piercing through the blue cold energy, CO Whale, in the body of a cold spirit race cultivator, grabs my shoulder from behind. Hoo-hoo, Taoist CO, I've finally caught you. Squirm, wriggle, the body of the cold spirit race cultivator bulges. I can feel an immense cold energy amplifying within it. No, unable to endure any longer, I transform into my Ghost King form while being held by the shoulder. Quaduduk, 18 heads rise majestically. At the same time, my Ghost King transformed body begins to absorb the cold energy comfortably. With ghost fire blazing in my eyes, I grit my teeth. Damn it, Shuarururu. I ultimately fail to control the clear scale armor. Freed from within the clear scale armor, the CO Whale possessing the main body smiles faintly. Well then, shall we start again properly from now on? You bastard, I have no idea how he even did it. Did he parasitize me with something like the mysterious bizarre GU? Isn't it something that is attached when you're killed? I gather ghostly energy, surveying the cultivators possessed by CO Whale. With the Ghost King transformation, I no longer fear being overwhelmed by them. Well, you can say it's somewhat similar. For some reason, I sense that statement is a lie. It might be best to interpret everything he says in reverse. I see. So killing CO Whale doesn't make it attach. He must be using some other method to attempt parasitism. Now then, shall we properly use the clone that Taoist CO has nurtured so carefully? Wo Wang. The circuits of the Mad Lord glows on the main body and 8 pairs of wings sprout from his back. The fusion of heaven, earth, and puppet generates the power of the 4-axis stage. The energy that had been amplified after killing and absorbing Gyo Yeoman Nakju seems to be completely exhausted. However, I feel my heart tighten. I hastily check my waist. My storage scroll that had been at my waist is now in CO Whale's hand. Did the cold spirit race guy take it when he self-destructed? How could he move that stealthily? Wait, could it be? Fearing the worst, I shout at him. How can you use the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts? So the name of this method that cuts off consciousness is record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts. It's not difficult. Since I became able to use the wonderfully mysterious innate heart cannon, is it not just a matter of honing and cutting the consciousness? I feel my insides churn. It isn't just because the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts have fallen into CO Whale's hands. It's because it feels as though the domain of martial arts I have learned, developed, and strived for is being violated by that filthy bastard. Let's see, it was put around here. He nonchalantly rummages through my storage scroll and pulls out the sea orchid fruit. Ah, found it. Well then, bon appetit. Crunch, crunch. He begins to devour the sea orchid fruit with my main body. At the same time, his energy starts to surge rapidly. Goo. Evolving Azure Tiger Saint's method into a Demon Beast method. Taoist CEO, you're truly impressive. A Demon Beast method perfectly suited for the human race. Apologies, but I will make some modifications. Flash. At that moment, a surge of energy explodes from my main body, and his cultivation increases. From the Grand Perfection Heavenly Being stage, he rises to the 4-axis stage. Goo. Dark clouds begin to gather over the care layer. The heavenly tribulation is beginning. Why is he attempting to break through in front of me? I can't comprehend Seo Whale's actions at all. Why in the world would he do such a thing in front of me? If I ambush him, the likelihood of him dying or falling into chi deviation during the tribulation would be high. Is he really that confident? Wo Wang. Drawing a ghost sword crafted with the Yin Soul Ghost incantation, I invoke curses. Die for real, Seo Whale. As I am about to throw the cursed ghost sword imbued with the agony of castration, the pain-amplifying elixir, and the pain from seeing a true immortal's name. Thwack. Suddenly, my left hand grips my right hand, stopping the throw. Huh. Then, the faces on my shoulders start creaking, and 6 out of the 18 faces speak in eerie voices. Hoo, Taoist CEO, please calm down. Wouldn't it be beneficial for you if your clone reaches the 4-axis stage? We'll rise through the Earth Tribe method first and then take our time with the Heaven Tribe method, so there's no need to worry. I remain silent, listening to their voices. Kurring, Kururung. Twin-colored heavenly tribulations strike Seo Unyun's main body, and I silently glare with ghost fire. You, what's your deal? What do you mean? Even if you don't parasitize by getting killed, how can you parasitize so easily like this? In fact, if it's not parasitizing through getting killed, it should be even harder to parasitize. I had to push the cultivators of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect to their limits to attach the mysterious bizarre GU onto them, and even after doing so, I couldn't immediately take over their minds. Moreover, I used the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts to attach the mysterious bizarre GU, and recognizing each other is easy among users of the same technique. In short, even if Seo Whale used a similar method to the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts to attempt parasitization on me, it doesn't make sense that I failed to detect it. Shwarururuk. After releasing my Ghost King transformation, I see signs of them attacking me again, so I summon the clear scale armor to wrap around my body. The clear scale armor compresses to fit my body size, turning into a transparent water that envelops me. Seo Whale's attacks don't affect me at all, but I still have to remain still, fighting against Seo Whale's attempts to take control of my body from within. Ho, please just calmly entrust your body to me. You've lived a long life anyway, so just think of it as having a short dream. Giving my body to a bastard like you would be worse than going to the Mad Lord and becoming General Seo. Really? No, on second thought, it doesn't seem quite right. But still, I won't let you take it. Ho, so you're just going to remain helplessly sealed inside the clear tears. Kuajijijik. Before I know it, the tribulation of the main body has ended. Simultaneously, the main body transforms into Seo Whale, who is now clad in the power of a demon beast method with more of a more pronounced aura of the sea dragon race. He has completely risen to the 4-axis stage. Wo Wang. And the cultivators of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect around him start using the secret arts of the 4 symbols nascent soul to connect the outer space to the care layer. Longevity, show, wealth, fu, love of virtue, yu hao day. Pot. The 3 axes that had constrained health Genganyang earlier come flying from the outer space. He must have hidden them somewhere and is now retrieving them. Woong, Boong, Zoong. The 3 axes naturally enter Seo Whale's body. He instantly exudes the aura of a grand perfection 4-axis. As the aura of the 4-axis General Seo overlays with his body, there is an enormous amplification of power. Integration stage. Now, he clearly has the power of an integration stage Demon King. Seo Whale smiles faintly and walks toward me, wrapped in the clear scale armor. Taoist Seo, may I borrow your body for a moment? Keeping a distance of 5 jong, he spreads his arms in a seemingly friendly gesture and proposes to me. I won't keep your body forever. Just for a moment, a very brief moment in your long life. Can you lend it to me for that short period of time? I can't trust your words. I see. That's unfortunate. Without changing his expression, Seo Whale turns his back. In that case, I'll have to take it by force. Zing. At that moment, an overwhelming force of consciousness strikes my mind. This is brainwashing, she now. It's a powerful brainwashing. The brainwashing is so painful and terrifying that I doubt my ability to withstand the hints and suggestions. What in the world is this? It isn't merely the concept of breaking the opponent's will. It's more about dismantling the very concept of me. Ah, damn it. My consciousness begins to blur. My vision goes dark, ending it all. Or so I thought. If you were born from me, show a little will. Zing. Flash. Gah. I open my eyes wide with a splitting headache. At the same time, I see Seo Whale, who has been turning his back to me, kneeling while clutching his head. Bo-ung. For a moment, I see an illusion of a white slash Zanji swiftly passing through Seo Whale's head. For the first time, Seo Whale screams. Kurg. Taoist Seo. Even as he screams, he doesn't lose his smile and looks ahead. I follow his gaze. There, dressed in white, is me. Ah, I can feel it. The presence before me is. Have you been well, Seo Lee? Seo Eun-yun, my main body. Bo-ung. He raises one hand. In his hand is a sword that shines in all of heaven's natural colors. It's so bright it hurts the eyes to look at. The sword seems to embody all the lights of heaven and earth. Ho-ho, Taoist Seo, how did you do it? I can't comprehend. As expected of Taoist Seo. He laughs as he looks at the main body. The main body swings the sword with an expressionless face. The sword of light is indeed very conspicuous. Yet, oddly enough, Seo Whale can't perceive the sword of light. Bo-ung. Shu Kwang. The sword of light slashes through Seo Whale's shoulder. Ho-ho, an attack that cannot be perceived or felt. I think I understand what it is. At those words, the main body smiles and looks at me. Listen carefully, Seo Lee. What he means by those words is, how did you do that? Quote. Step. The main body approaches me, placing the sword of light against my head and swings it. The sword of light passes through my head, and at the same time, I feel Seo Whale's whispering voice inside me being completely swept away. He can't see this light. It's visible only to us. Main body, you, Seo Lee. He looks at me and says. I am not the main body. What? I am Seo Eun-yun. I laugh as I look at the bewildered Seo Lee. Holding the newly born formless sword, I turn my back on him and look at Seo Whale. Let's fight together, Seo Lee. We need to drive that monster out of here and reclaim the colorless glass sword. While Seo Whale was stealing my techniques like the record of transcending cultivation and exhausting martial arts, I uncovered his true identity. He's a terrifying and unbelievable monster. So, to reclaim my body, I definitely need Seo Lee's help. Seo Lee stands by my side. I don't understand, but anyway. He smiles and gathers ghostly energy. Clad in black and white, we simultaneously charge at Seo Whale. Translator notes. Sea Lotus. Fruit to Sea Orchid Fruit. Chapter 317. Not a Lord 3. Seo Lee and Seo Eun-yun charge toward Seo Whale. Bu-ung. The first attack is Seo Eun-yun's sword strike. However, Seo Whale can't recognize it as a sword. What is he swinging? To his eyes, it appears as though Seo Eun-yun is gripping and swinging transparent void. Considering that the formless sword Seo Eun-yun originally used was transparent but its outline could be surmised, Seo Eun-yun's current weapon is utterly unidentifiable. Shukuong. Before Seo Whale can react, Seo Eun-yun has torn through the moment, appearing before him and launching thousands of slashes in an instant. Quote. Seo Whale, without losing his smile, begins to use his demon ability. Demon ability. Dragon Sea Exceeding Ascension, Long Hai Jin Yunong. Kwa. The dragon-shaped seawater is summoned around him, shooting towards Seo Eun-yun and Seo Lee. Bu-ung. However, behind Seo Eun-yun, Seo Lee transforms the clear scale armor he is wearing into a gigantic hand and rushes in, smashing the dragon-shaped seawater. Kwang. A deafening explosion sounds, and the dragon-shaped seawater shatters, spraying water everywhere. Thick sea fog begins to spread around. Wu-wang. Within the thick sea fog, I exhale yin wind to try to disperse the fog. But the fog stays fixed around me, unmoving. Whisper, whisper, whisper. Somewhere, from a distant place, I hear the sound of something whispering. What is this? I try to focus on the sound. At that moment, whying, a white slash sweeps past in front of me. Following the path cleaved through the fog, Seo Eun-yun walks toward me. Do not be deceived, Seo Lee. It's one of his brainwashing spells. Quote. Main body. It's Seo Eun-yun. Seo Lee. Quote. Alright, Seo Eun-yun. I ask, not understanding. Why insist on being called that? The distinction is meaningless to us. Seo Eun-yun smiles softly at my words. It seems you still don't know. Quote. Quote. You'll understand naturally later. He seems calmer and more composed than before, perhaps due to what he has experienced inside Seo Whale. Anyway, what's Seo Whale's ability? How does he parasitize so easily? I ask about Seo Whale, who had somehow parasitized me and manipulated my mind. Seo Eun-yun's smile vanishes as he answers. His ability is not parasitism. What? His ability is infection, or replication, or, yes, assimilation, would be more accurate. Seo Eun-yun explains. He's capable of disassembling his own mind. How he does it, I don't know, but he dismantles and decomposes his own mind and emotions to create a certain configuration, and when that configuration is assembled, it becomes Seo Whale. Every entity that encounters Seo Whale unconsciously imprints that configuration into their minds. As time passes, the configuration spreads throughout our minds, and at some point, the configuration assembles, creating a new being known as Seo Whale. It's a form of brainwashing. I feel a sense of absurdity at this ability. What is that plague-like ability? No, more importantly, can he really use such an absurd technique without any restrictions? From what I've figured out, there are restrictions. First, to brainwash an opponent stronger than himself through the configuration takes a considerable amount of time and effort. That's why he killed beings like Gyo Yom and the one from the tall tree race, who were at the 4-axis stage. I see. Secondly, the weaker a person's mental strength, the easier it is to brainwash them. Conversely, the stronger their mental strength, the more resources it takes to brainwash them. Quote. Quote. I let out a hollow laugh at those words once again. Is my mental strength that weak? Swoosh. Seo Eun-yun places a hand on my shoulder. Perhaps because we are the same, it doesn't feel unpleasant. Wu Wang. In an instant, our hearts connect, and I discover a startling truth. Our mental strength isn't weak. We just got too deeply immersed in the conditions for his brainwashing. What? So it isn't just a matter of killing Seo Whale to be brainwashed. As I listen to the conditions for Seo Whale's brainwashing, I feel chills all over my body. The condition for Seo Whale's brainwashing is to meet Seo Whale, talk to him, and have an impression of him remain in your mind. The more you talk to him, the more you remember him, and the more you encounter him, the higher the probability and risk of turning into Seo Whale. Our mental strength isn't weak. Seo Eun-yun's eyes seem to burn with a fierce intensity. He is wary of Seo Whale. Since the first time I met him 3,000 years ago, I have been brainwashed and eroded by him. Ah, so that's how it is. Seo Whale has been brainwashing me since my very first life, since the 0th cycle. And so, from that time until now, over the span of about 3,000 years that he has been brainwashing me. The result is the current, me. The reason Seo Whale could read my thoughts is simple. By that point, I was already being eroded by Seo Whale. The configurations of Seo Whale that slept within my consciousness must have conveyed the information to him. It's truly a terrifying ability. That Seo Whale you see over there is both Seo Whale and, simultaneously, the brainwashed, me. After Seo Eun-yun stops transmitting his heart language from my shoulder, he speaks aloud. There's a simple way to reclaim me. Either make him draw out the colorless glass sword or directly cut open his stomach to take out the colorless glass sword, then through the canvas of myriad forms and connections. At the same time, Seo Eun-yun's true plan flows through heart language. By overriding my memories onto Seo Whale's configuration, I'll re-brainwash Seo Whale's personality back into Seo Eun-yun. Yes, perhaps the term assimilation fits better. Bu Wang. Seo Eun-yun swings the sword of all of heaven's natural colors. Simultaneously, the fog surrounding us is completely torn apart and dispersed. Kugugugu. Outside the fog, Seo Whale is seen diligently forming hand seals and preparing the next spell. Demon ability. 300 million Jin Sweetwater Peach. Kwa. Kududududuk. Suddenly, the clear scale armor protecting my body becomes incredibly heavy. Demon ability. Sea tears submerging resentment. Tears from the furious sea pours down from the sky. Ho ho, even the canvas of myriad forms and connections won't work on me. You two won't even be able to approach me. Boo-ung. I move the now heavy clear scale armor, using it like the formless sword to deflect all the falling raindrops. Then, raising the prismatic sword, Seo Eun-yun speaks. In other words, I'm scared of the canvas of myriad forms and connections, so I absolutely won't let you approach me. We exchange glances. One word is enough. Go. To that. Clad in the clear scale armor, I wield a cursed ghost sword and, enveloped in dark ghostly energy and yin energy, don the armor formed by the power of great desert to Dead Sea. And Seo Eun-yun, with no protection, charges in with the sword of light. Ho ho, my current strength reaches the integration stage. In the next moment, Boo-ung, Kukwik, Seo Eun-yun's sword plunges into Seo Wei-ol's mouth. Getting used to the heavy clear scale armor, I begin to handle the shapeless armor like the formless sword. Quarurik, though it became heavier. Thanks to Seo Wei-ol, the increased weight of the clear scale armor allows for a more powerful strike that surges towards Seo Wei-ol. Pot. He uses the Mad Lord's circuits to enhance his physical abilities and draws out his immortal beast True Blood to strengthen himself further. He then uses his 5 Blessings Orthodox Axis to deploy a canopy, increasing his power. Quarurik. The 4-axis canopy covers the care layer. This is it because of the 5 Blessings Axis? Seo Wei-ol's canopy is unlike that of Baekwi Ik or other cultivators in the 4-axis stage. Rather, his canopy is as solid and strong as that of Wei Ryong Son, an integration stage cultivator. The pitch-black world I had seen before. A place as nauseating as Seo Wei-ol's heart essence. I'm slightly taken aback, but Seo Eun-yun, unfazed, skillfully finds his way through the darkness and delivers a slash. Ho ho, Taoist Seo, you seem to be in a hurry. To strike aimlessly like that already, are you afraid of my power within the Axis canopy? Seo Wei-ol's mocking voice echoes from the opposite direction of where Seo Eun-yun's slash landed. However, Seo Eun-yun isn't deceived. He keeps his gaze fixed on the spot where he had struck, his eyes gleaming. In other words, how did that happen? I was hit by the slash without even perceiving it. How can you exert such power within my Axis canopy? Quote. I can't help but let out a gasp as I watch Seo Eun-yun expertly translate Seo Wei-ol's words. Seoic 990 points. Author making a pun. Toic to Seoic. Quote. Quote. Oh, nothing, you used to be terrible at foreign languages. Remember when you boasted about scoring 900 points in TOEIC in front of Kong Min-hee, but then shrank back in front of her 990 points? It's fascinating to see myself become so proficient in completely different languages like Seo Wei-ol's and the Mad Lord's. Seeing me marveling, Seo Eun-yun smiles as he concentrates power into the Sword of Light, preparing for another slash. Seo Lee, you really think about Kong Min-hee a lot, don't you? Ah, no, I was just reminded of that incident. No, I have become so proficient in interpreting alien languages. Do you love Kong Min-hee? No, why are you bringing that up suddenly? Kong Min-hee is just, to me, she's. However, as I look at the warmly smiling Seo Eun-yun's eyes which seem to be saying, I know everything already, I can't hide it any longer. Quote. Yeah, I like Kong Min-hee. Chuaruruk. From the darkness, black chains come down upon us. I move the clear scale armor to fend off the chains, while Seo Eun-yun pinpoints Seo Wei-ol's location in the darkness and strikes accurately again. Seo Wei-ol continues to taunt us, saying, Ho ho, where are you aiming those slashes? You can't even scratch me, and whatever, but neither of us pay any attention to his words. Seo Eun-yun chuckles softly. Was it from that time, I wonder, when we started to diverge? Isn't it interesting? Love, I also like Kong Min-hee. As an old friend, that is. But, I settled my feelings for her long ago. I still have lingering feelings, sometimes I miss her, sometimes I recall the times we watched the sunset from Namsan, however, I already have someone I love. But you are in love with Kong Min-hee again. Aren't you? Quote. You are no longer me. Starting from your love for Kong Min-hee, you have become independent of me, Seo Lee. Kuuoo. Numerous yin dragons charged at us, roaring. I unleash curse spells, while the main body delivers slashes, grinding them down as we stand back to back. I smile bitterly. Being called Seo Lee, not even Yuan Lee, it really drives me crazy. You bastard, why did you name me Seo Lee? I'm really sorry for that. Go to Temporal Fate Island later and apply for a name change. Forget it, even the name Seo Lee. I infuse the entire clear scale armor with curses. The armor, now turbid like black water, transforms into formless strikes that scatter in all directions. Seo Eun-yun, wielding his prismatic sword, begins performing a sword dance. Is not too bad. That's a relief. The black and white sword dance tears through the dark space. As the white and black sword formation combines, the power of the sword strikes rises to the level of a grand cultivator at the integration stage. And Seo Whale's canopy is torn apart. I retrieve my sword. The surroundings revert back to the environment of the care layer. Seo Lee begins desertifying the care layer using Great Desert to Dead Sea, and I approach Seo Whale with the formless sword in hand. You retracted the axes before the canopy was damaged. Quote. Now give up. You cannot defeat us. Seo Whale takes a step back, smiling faintly. Do you intend to attack me? Yeah, ho, not bad. However, there's one thing I need to tell you. Don't bother. Farewell. I take the starting form. And Seo Whale raises a finger and says, I told you earlier that I found the pillar of the canvas of myriad forms and connections. Uduk. I freeze in place. I couldn't touch the pillar because I needed the attraction force of the 4-axis stage, but ho, after having a bout with Taoist Seo, finally. With a bright smile, he continues. I was able to reach the pillar. Quote. Seo Lee, standing behind me, has a confused look on his face. Hey, Seo Eun-yun. What is he talking about? Seo Whale spreads his arms wide and grins. Now then, shall we unveil Taoist Seo's secret? Sha. Simultaneously, he activates the colorless glass sword, causing the mist of the canvas of myriad forms and connections to billow. Watching him, I'm thrown into confusion. I feel the same as Seo Lee. Indeed, what in the world is he talking about? The canvas of myriad forms and connections has no pillar. No, to be precise, everything is a pillar. I have always cherished and recorded every connection in my life as the pillars that make up my existence. So, what exactly does Seo Whale mean by the pillar? Seo Whale traverses through the hazy mist with attraction force. He senses it from afar. Within the canvas of myriad forms and connections, there is an entity that is both particularly alien and inherently protected by the canvas itself. At last, I can peek into Taoist Seo's secret. How delightful. Clench. Within the mist of the canvas of myriad forms and connections, Seo Whale grabs the shoulder of a certain being. You must be the memory Taoist Seo cherishes the most. Reveal your identity to me. Beaming with the thought of using this pillar as a key to glimpse through everything in the canvas of myriad forms and connections, Seo Whale suddenly senses something amiss. SSS is. The being covered in mist, whom Seo Whale thought of as the pillar, reveals themselves. It's a woman in white, holding a jade norige in one hand. And Seo Whale, realizing something, takes a step back with a faint smile. Quote. Who are you? To his question, she replies. I am but a mere wanderer. A traveler who happened upon this place while researching Dharma treasures. Quote. You are not the pillar, are you? I'm not sure what you mean. I simply came here while investigating the object connected to this norige. Seo Whale's gaze falls upon the jade norige she is holding. Ah, I see. Ho, it's not you but that, which is the pillar. Could you give it to me? Who knows? It does seem to play a crucial role in this space. But giving it to you is impossible. Why is that? Because this space is whispering to me. Though I am but a traveler, it tells me that you are an unwelcome guest. Though I cannot play the host as a mere guest here, I can still drive out an uninvited guest. The woman in white smiles faintly and raises the jade norige. Haha, I don't know who you are calling an uninvited guest. We both entered the canvas of myriad forms and connections without permission. Why don't you just hand over the norige? Ignoring the woman in white, Seo Whale reaches out to seize the norige. Clench. Seo Whale's hand grasps the jade norige. And then, Seo Whale sees it, the inverted cone within the norige. Chapter 318, Not a Lord 4. Guwag. Seo Whale suddenly starts screaming. It's a terrible scream, unlike anything I've ever heard before. Crumble. At the same time, part of Seo Whale's head turns into salt and begins to pour down to the ground. Seo Whale appears to try to catch his crumbling head with his trembling hands, but even his hands begin to turn into salt and fall apart. Quote. Seo Lee and I stand there, speechless, watching the scene unfold. What in the world did he mess with? Anyway, this is a good thing. My eyes brighten as I grasp the starting form. It's now. Seo Li uses a spell, taking out a curse banner and the 5 elements blood curse banner. Now that Seo Wei'ol has shown an opening, I will drive him out and reclaim my body. Before the throne Yu Qian, the first step Di Yi Bu, by enduring and compressing myself, I reached beyond tribulating heavens. I didn't need to seek it from the outside. The essence of martial arts was already within me. Everything I had learned was already inside. Why did Zhang Yi name this state, before the throne Yu Qian? Because reflecting on oneself allows one to reach the front Yu Qian of a great being. Keying, one sword compressed with my entirety. Even my heart essence is contained in this sword. Here I go, pot, I become the sword. A sword of light flies toward Seo Wei'ol. Just as Zhang Yi had embedded his padao into my heart essence, I shoot into Seo Wei'ol's filthy heart essence. I overlay the existence of me on top of the existence of Seo Wei'ol. Although it's theoretically possible with the canvas of myriad forms and connections, I'm not just relying on history but the me of this very moment, driving him out. This is the real plan I had hidden from Seo Wei'ol and conveyed to Seo Li. By simultaneously utilizing the canvas of myriad forms and connections and the first step before the throne, I take my place inside Seo Wei'ol. Quarururuk. As soon as Seo Unyun enters Seo Wei'ol, Seo Li dies the 5 elements blood curse banner. Qi. The dark black ghost curse banners are created, forming a field of black flags around Seo Li. Go. Quarururarik. Countless black ghost curse banners swarm together like bees, merge in the sky, and then plunge toward Seo Wei'ol. If Seo Unyun's aim is to enter Seo Wei'ol's body, reassert his heart essence with the first step before the throne, and digest Seo Wei'ol using the canvas of myriad forms and connections, Seo Li's role is to imprint the pawn Seo Unyun had experienced onto Seo Wei'ol from the outside. The fear and suffering felt when looking at true immortals. The castration of his testicles. The pain of the 60,000-fold toxic poison. The pain of losing Azure Tiger Saint before his eyes. The loneliness, sorrow, and suffering of being a puppet for 1,000 years. The situation when he first awakened the Yin Soul Ghost incantation. The loneliness of having to explore beyond the limits of martial arts alone, leaving behind Kim Young-hoon each time. The pain of having to leave his master after bowing to him, leaving his master alone. The pain of losing his disciples. The pain of letting all those countless cherished connections go. The immense pain experienced by the individual, Seo Unyun, are all implanted into Seo Wei'ol's brain. If Seo Wei'ol had brainwashed Seo Unyun to turn him into Seo Wei'ol, they are doing the opposite. Brainwashing Seo Wei'ol to revert him back into Seo Unyun. Now that Seo Wei'ol is suddenly turning into salt and crumbling, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Just when I think that, crumble, coup, suddenly, Seo Li also grabs his head. Part of Seo Li's head turns into salt and begins to fall apart. Although his entire head didn't completely melt away like Seo Wei'ol's, part of him has suddenly turned into salt. What is this? Seo Li is baffled, but he soon understands by looking around. Seo Wei'ol has assimilated the mystical scaled fish commanding sect, the spirit scale race, the cold spirit race, the leaf race, and many others. Many of them are experiencing the same phenomenon, their heads turning into salt and melting away. And this is happening throughout the entire sun and moon heavenly domain. Bright cold realm. The grand cultivator who previously shared a conversation with Seo Wei'ol and let him out, Wei Ryong Son, suddenly grabs his head and collapses to the floor. Part of his head starts turning into salt and begins to melt away. It isn't just him. Others whom Seo Wei'ol had spoken with in the Black Ghost Valley also have their heads turning into salt and melting away. In the case of the Black Grand Elder Heo Gwak, it's particularly severe. Kuuog. RGGH. 3/4 of his face has turned into salt and is melting away. The same is true for Azure Tiger Saint. Kuua. In the case of the Azure Tiger Saint, half of his face has turned into salt and is melting away. All the Heaven Tribe members who had met and conversed with Seo Wei'ol are spewing salt from their faces, or part of their heads are turning into salt and pouring down. The true Dragon Alliance of the Earth Tribe is no different. Kyog. Uni. Gua. Seeing Gu Ryan spewing salt from her mouth, her sister Gu Wa turns pale and infuses her with life force. However, even Gu Wa, who had come and gone conversing with Seo Wei'ol, has parts of her face turning into salt and falling off. Kyog. The true Dragon Alliance of the Earth Tribe. The hidden layer within the serving command arc. Inside a vast estate. Cough, cough. A woman in there coughs and spits out some salt, then half opens her eyes with a meaningful smile. Oh my, has our grand prince finally shown a crack? Her eyes curve into a smile. Maybe now I can see the past of yours covered in darkness. Her hand reaches out into the void. Shall we find Sio Whale's pillar? Above the land of the Malryu domain, which leads to the Swiftwind domain. Within a rapidly gliding wonderfully mysterious fortress. The Mad Lord suddenly scratches his chin with a surprised expression. Buck buck, Duke. A piece of salt, about the size of a pinky nail, falls from his chin. Considering how long he has known Sio Whale, it's an unbelievably small amount. Quote. Question mark. What is this? The Mad Lord pays it no mind and continues focusing on maneuvering the wonderfully mysterious fortress. Ancient Force Realm, above the lake where a large fleet is anchored. Inside the command ship of the fleet, a woman dressed in white, holding a norige, suddenly grabs her head. While meditating, her face turns into salt and crumbles away. She quickly regenerates her face before long, but she opens her eyes with a puzzled expression. Why me? Ancient Force Realm, a large mountain range beside the fleet. Inside a cave residence on the mountain. Master. Do not come near. Damn it, what's happening? Part of Song Jin's skull suddenly turns into salt and begins to melt. Sio Ran, seeing this, is flustered. And then, at some point, Sio Ran also grabs his head. My head. Regardless of whether it's the bright cold realm, the ancient force realm, or the head realm, anyone who had met and conversed with Sio Whale, even once are having salt drip from their heads. Inside Sio Whale, as I am, digesting his heart essence and his existence, I feel it. Truly, there's an unbelievable amount. It isn't just those Sio Whale had conversed with and imprinted configurations on. There are countless others who have already been completely transformed into Sio Whale. Sio Whales are already overflowing in this world. Within Sio Whale, I observe how he constantly communicates with the other Sio Whales outside. It's like looking at brain cells. Each of the countless Sio Whales act as a single nerve, exchanging opinions and information with the many other Sio Whales, collectively thinking and deciding as a single brain. I realize the terror of Sio Whale as I face the endlessly unfolding darkness. Is that your secret? Anyone who converses with Sio Whale, unless they are overwhelmingly superior in cultivation, would have a lingering impression of Sio Whale etched in their mind. This impression itself becomes a configuration that forms Sio Whale's persona within them. Consequently, anyone who forms Sio Whale's persona would instantly develop a fondness for Sio Whale, no matter who they are. This is why everyone Sio Whale met thinks highly of him. It's the reason why everyone from the head realm placed absolute trust in Sio Whale's words. In the darkness, I murmur the name of Sio Whale's spell that inadvertently flows out in my bewilderment. Immortal art, Xian Shu, tainted soul filling the heavens, Zhou Hun Man Tian. So that's the name of your spell. As Sio Whale meets more people, as he appears before the masses and imprints himself on them. Sio Whale is formed within their inner selves, and they would act, for Sio Whale, within the realm of their unconsciousness. Sio Whale's plans seldom failed. His predictions rarely missed the mark. The reason this was possible is simple. Every person who has ever met him inevitably acts in ways that benefit him. What I saw then wasn't just your talent. When I was assimilated with Sio Whale, I saw a network of countless human relationships. The confidence that he could twist these relationships to his advantage. It wasn't just confidence or talent, but simply a fact. A chilling ability. As time passes, more Sio Whales grow. As these Sio Whales meet more people, they, too, will eventually become Sio Whale. If these Sio Whales fill the world itself will essentially become Sio Whale. The one saving grace is that every Sio Whale shares the memory of the true immortal he saw in the canvas of myriad forms and connections. The darkness is quite noisy. I slowly push Sio Whale out of my body, observing the joyfully and noisily discussing Sio Whales. Geeing. Countless Sio Whales communicate in their unique language. Normally, it's a language I wouldn't be able to understand, but because I am in a state of being assimilated by Sio Whale, I can understand to some extent. It's dangerous. We need to protect Hollow Square. As long as I have that, I'm safe. No, we don't even need to go as far as Hollow Square. Yeah, let's push it all to one place. Where should we push it to? It's best to put it in the most useless me. How do we judge what's useless? By the success or failure of plans. Then, SSS is. Somehow, I feel hundreds of millions of unpleasant gazes from the darkness focus on me. I, who failed to parasitize the GRADE2 dangerous entity, must take responsibility. So that's how it is. I feel like I understand the system of CO whale to some extent. Just when I think that, beyond the deep darkness, I see the Taiji, the circulation of yin and yang, an eternal rotation. A compendium of history, Li Shi. For some reason I sense the presence of countless immortal beasts' true blood within the Taiji. And, as the Taiji rotates, it shatters the darkness. Quaching. At the same time, I see something unbelievable beyond the darkness. A pure light, I thought could never exist within CO whale bursts forth momentarily from beyond the darkness. What? I'm bewildered, but at the same time, my eyes shine. This is my chance to uncover CO whale's true identity. Pot. Using the power of the first step before the throne, I shoot towards the crack of light. Quadududuke. I transform into a sword and embed myself in the gap of light. My spirit widens the gap, and the Taiji flows into it. And then, Zing, Koog, both I and the mysterious Taiji are blown away by the concentrated mental attack from the hundred of millions of CO whales, unable to see the inside of the light. Ha, ha 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 ha, ah ha 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 ha. I laugh out loud. Basically, my original body. I am referring to the body of CO Unyun. Though the body is turning to salt, I am able to regain considerable control over the body that had been seized by CO whale. I laugh maniacally. CO whale, CO whale, CO whale. Until now, I had thought of CO whale's identity as being tied to a judge of the netherworld. Figures such as Nether Devil True Lord Yu Haute, Love of Virtue. Or those I learned of today such as Nether Ghost True Lord Yu Su Ryan, Ancient Force True Lord Hein Young, or the Purple Gold True Lord, and so on. However, just moments ago, while catching a glimpse of his light, I realized one thing. You are not a Lord Jun. Neither a true Lord nor a heavenly Lord. No, you were never. My eyes are bloodshot. The true identity of CO whale is laughable and absurd. You were never a true immortal. Right, neither of us were true immortals. Even though we weren't true immortals, we both recognized each other as beings of that caliber and performed a ludicrous farce, pretending to be true immortals. I'm a fellow true immortal Taoist. How ridiculously laughable. He never saw me as a fellow Taoist, he was just a pitiable creature desperately pretending to be a true immortal in front of me. Earth Tribe, True Dragon Alliance, Serving Command Arc. The Hidden Layer. Clench. One of the Jiangshi inside is gripping the neck of a woman in white, Oh Hai Seo. The face of the Jiangshi changes. His attire changes. A handsome man with blue hair and blue robes. The Jiangshi, now transformed into CO whale, glares coldly at Oh Hai Seo, a look he had never shown before. What was the meaning of this just now, Miss Hai Seo? Haha, why are you doing this, Grand Prince? Are you upset because this girl peeked at your secret? Quote. I suppose I should thank you. Thanks to you, I remembered the feeling of such discomfort after a long time. That's great. Your face looks much more human now, doesn't it? Oh ho ho ho. At that, CO whale coldly throws Oh Hai Seo aside. Yet, you are inhuman. While being human, Miss Hai Seo. It's sad to hear that from you, Grand Prince. Aren't you and I both beasts in human skin? CO whale, looking at Oh Hai Seo for a moment, regains his usual smile. Ho ho, while I've purposely discarded mine, it's just fascinating that you seem to have never had one from the beginning, Miss Hai Seo. Ah ha ha, how could that be? In this vast world, there's no way there's no one like me. Ho ho, the man wearing a mask and the woman with nothing but a mask look at each other with smiling faces. Anyway, this won't do. What just happened was a bit dangerous for me, so I'll have to give you a little education this time. Thank you for kindly showing me that this method was effective. Ho ho, CO whale reaches out to Oh Hai Seo with a smiling face. Ho ho, that laugh is still unpleasant. The CO whale, looking at me through the bodies of different races. It's truly an unpleasant sight. However, seeing this appearance, I pity him. In the past, I had seen a light in CO whale's heart essence. At that time, I thought it was an illusion. But from what happened just now, I can tell. His heart essence might have truly been like an idyllic peach garden at one time. Pitiful, Grand Prince of the Sea Dragon race, CO whale. How miserable must your experiences have been, to shove your original heart into the depths of a bottomless abyss and torment yourself. Quote. Open your heart. If the wounds of the past are the problem, I have a method that can heal your heart. Quote. Ho ho. Co Whale smiles faintly. You say amusing things, Taoist Co. What I showed you was merely a joke. There is no such thing as a heart in this world. Quote. Is that so? I look directly into Co Whale's eyes as I speak. Tuck. Toodoo-dook. As Co Whale is gradually overpowered within me, the influence of whatever he saw weakens, and the body that had turned into salt begins to regenerate. You're always smiling. Ho ho. He is a liar. His words, actions, face, even his heart, everything is turned into lies by this pitiful monster. Then, what kind of lie is the smile this monster always wears? Author's note. Co Whale might have just needed someone to talk to. Breaking the character of Co Whale so that he stops smiling will be the goal for Co Unyan and me as we progress through the Middle Realm episodes. I truly want to see Co Whale in despair. Chapter 319, Farewell 1. I look at Co Whale. Co Whale is still smiling faintly. Zing. Inside my head, the discussion among the Co Whales is coming to an end. One of me needs to take responsibility. The Grade 2 dangerous entity has ultimately taken control of me. Then let's have the me's that face the GRADE2 dangerous entity be the ones to make the sacrifice. Agreed. The decision is made. Retrieve the axis. Boong. At the same time, the axes of health, wealth, longevity, and love of virtue are drawn out of my body, crossing the plane and disappearing somewhere. I could have grasped them, but a sense of alertness made me feel that grabbing the axes would be more dangerous, so I let them go and look at the Co Whales before me. Puff, puff, puff. In an instant, 3 Co Whales turn completely into salt and dissolve away. So that's how you avoided the influence of the true immortals. It wasn't that Co Whale hadn't dissolved after hearing the word, governing immortal. He had merely pretended to be unaffected in front of me, transferring the influence to avoid harm, just like how I almost vomited in front of Tae Yaljayan and passed it on to Co Lee. After fully digesting Co Whale and making him mine, the voices of the Co Whale's discussion cease. But I can understand more than enough. By turning those 3 Co Whales into salt, the remaining Co Whales will not turn into salt anymore. However, there are still about 10 Co Whales left before me. Of course, they are all at the heavenly being stage. The Co Whale possessing the body of a mystical scaled fish commanding sect member is slightly better, but is still at the 4-axis stage. Sururuk. I move my regained body. Woodooduk. As I brush my face, it returns to its original form, and my hair turns black. Wowong. Using a clothing spell, my blue robe turns into a white martial arts uniform. Finally, I feel a body that feels stable. The flesh at the 4-axis stage that Co Whale has made. And the canvas of myriad forms and connections that has settled within. This is my body. Kugugugik. I try moving the 4-axis stage body Co Whale has left me. Every movement is imbued with attraction force. Wowong. It seems Co Whale left something behind. Inside my upper dantian, I realize that before Co Whale had been completely digested by me, he left something in my consciousness. However, I don't feel any malice from it. Instead, it feels like something he had to leave behind unwillingly. I slowly interpret what is in my upper dantian while drawing the colorless glass sword. This familiar and heavy sensation. It's definitely the colorless glass sword. Good. I brush the colorless glass sword with one hand. The colorless glass sword hums as if alive. TSTSTSTSTST. A sword containing all of heaven's colors envelops the colorless glass sword. Wu Wang. The familiar 3 great ultimates return behind my head. However, the Taiji representing the Heart tribe and the Taiji representing the Earth tribe form a normal Taiji, while the Taiji representing the Heaven tribe spins separately, smaller and at the outer edge of the other 2 Taiji. It seems to be a phenomenon caused by the disparity in realms. Of course, it doesn't matter much. There's no problem in killing you, Co Whale. The remaining 10 Co Whales only smile faintly. Ho ho, I hope you haven't forgotten that it was thanks to my method that Taoist Co achieved the 4-axis stage. Woodook, doo-doo-dook, my body starts to go out of control again. But I activate the circuit laid in my body. Zing, the circuit begins to glow brightly and hum. Woodook, woo-doo-doo-doo-dook, I begin to move my body, ignoring Co Whale's control. You don't seem to understand the extent of my power. Co Lee stands beside me. He nods, then transforms his body into a ghost king with 18 heads. He is back in his ghostly form. In the case of a ghostly form from the Black Ghost Valley, it isn't a physical body like a jiangshi or a corpse, but a body situated in the plane of qi. In other words, Xiao Li as a ghost king can possess others. Sururuk. Xiao Li possesses my body. At the same time, his power harmonizes with heaven, earth, and heart. Kugugugik. The three great ultimates, which had been out of sync, fully align, and a volcanic power begins to surge throughout my body. The power at the early integration stage rises to the mid then late integration stage. Kududugik. However, it seems that even within the integration stage, there are significant differences in stages, and it doesn't reach grand perfection. But, even if it's only up to here, it should be enough to match Hun 1. Kugugugik. I take one step forward. Then, I swing the colorless glass sword imbued with the formless sword towards Xiao Wei'ol. Kwang. Who, surprisingly, Xiao Wei'ol has not turned into a minced meat. Ho ho, Taoist Xiao, how about taking a moment to talk? No, I firmly refuse, and raise my sword again. At that moment, flinch, I feel an inexplicable sense of foreboding from Xiao Wei'ol's gaze and step back. Xiao Wei'ol smiles faintly and reaches out to the other, Xiao Wei'ol's around. If your strength is that considerable, I must take special measures as well. He reveals eyes like a reptile and extends his arm through the body of a disciple from the mystical scaled fish commanding sect. Originally, I didn't want to use this because I feared it would provoke the karmic fire, Yihuo, but given the circumstances, I have no choice. Wu Wang. A red aura emanates from his hands. Scarlet blood-colored devilish energy begins to boil from his hands. Blood sacrifice ritual, Shui Ji Fei Shi, blood yin returning home, Shui Yin Gui Shang. At the same time, the 10 Xiao Wei'ols around him are pulled towards the Xiao Wei'ol who possesses the body of the mystical scaled fish commanding sect's grand perfection heavenly being disciple, turning into chunks of flesh that are absorbed into his hands. Kudik. Kududuk. His body begins to mutate. A blood mist envelops him. Yuan Li. Within that blood mist, within that blood sacrifice ritual, I feel something similar to Yuan Li. After a moment, the blood mist clears, revealing Xiao Wei'ol transformed into a figure wearing a dark red robe. Although the face is the same as Xiao Wei'ol's, the hair has turned black, and in the hands which had absorbed the other, Xiao Wei'ol's, 10 or so, eyeballs, have sprouted. A rather grotesque appearance. However, I simultaneously sense a formidable threat. Kugugugugu. I feel the aura of the integration stage emanating from him. For the next 2 hours, I am no different from an integration stage cultivator. Did you burn the life and soul of the other heavenly being stage cultivators? That's correct. It wasn't yours to begin with, and yet you act so viciously. Ho ho, in battle. Enough, be quiet. Bo Ung. I approach Xiao Wei'ol without listening further and raise the colorless glass sword again. The foreboding I felt earlier is gone. The reason I initially couldn't turn Xiao Wei'ol into minced meat was simply because he had manipulated the Earth Tribe method that made me reach the 4-axis stage. But now, even that manipulation has been shattered by my power and is meaningless. I can now exert my full strength. Kwang. The entire storage scroll domain of Lofty Dragon True Person trembles with a single strike. Kugugugugu. Xiao Wei'ol breaks through the floor of the care layer, falling and crashing into the floor of the first water flow layer. I look at the hole-pierced floors of the care layer and the Dao departure layer, then jump down to completely crush Xiao Wei'ol. Die. Xiao Wei'ol can't even react as his upper body explodes under my foot. Kwang. An earthquake shakes the entire water flow layer. The blazing water flow layer turns into a vacuum state for an instant due to the air pressure caused by my attack on Xiao Wei'ol, extinguishing all the flames at once. I press Xiao Wei'ol further in the vacuum state. Exclamation mark. No sound echoes. Only the space itself trembles, causing the entire storage scroll of the Lofty Dragon True Person to reverberate. After a while, when the air returns, I grab Xiao Wei'ol's head and start running while slamming him into the ground. The Earth Tribe body that Xiao Wei'ol enhanced to the 4-axis stage rapidly traverses dozens of li in the water flow layer. I run around wildly with the intention of grinding Xiao Wei'ol's body to dust. Integration stage, how impressive. So what? What are you going to do? Even if Hun 1 himself came, I wouldn't be afraid. There is no longer any reason to fear. Xiao Wei'ol. Though it would be difficult to kill the hundred of millions of Xiao Wei'ols, I can at least stop this one's schemes. His upper body is shredded in pieces, and soon he will be reduced to a charred state, scattered everywhere. At that moment, flash, Xiao Wei'ol, whose upper body is being torn apart, extends an arm with an eye towards me. The eye on the arm. The pupil contracts sharply, meeting my gaze. This is it. This is what I sensed as ominous earlier. Zing, ku. Simultaneously, I stop in place and focus all my mental strength. It's immense. Sia Whale's very personality is pouring into me, attempting to brainwash me. This is on a different level from when Sia Whale tried to brainwash me slowly. Grrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr on the heart essence. The heart essence. Ho ho, you are indeed terrifying, Taoist CEO. Wriggle, wriggle, he begins regenerating his upper body as he stands up. At the same time, he seems ready to attack me with the Blood Yin Realm's unique spell. But CEO Li, who is possessing me, moves my body instead and shouts. Clear scale armor. Chuarururuk. The pure tears of Xiaji fall and cover my body. Chi. As the Xiaji's tears fall onto the water flow layer, the flames are extinguished in an instant, and water erupts from everywhere with rivers gushing forth. Kwang. Xia Wei's spell strikes the clear scale armor, but the armor nullifies all its power, protecting me. I barely manage to keep my mind from becoming dazed as I glare at Xia Wei. That. One of the eyes on Xia Wei's outstretched arm closes. Xia Wei doesn't explain, but I instinctively know. It's the devilish art of the Blood Yin realm, which involves sacrificing others. Through his devilish art, Xia Wei had sacrificed one of the Xia Wei personalities he absorbed to attempt the recent brainwashing. Sacrificing his own personality allows him to brainwash with much greater power. But I don't understand. Why? What do you mean, Taoist CEO? When I was within you, I sensed hundreds of millions of you. Quote. If you sacrificed only about 100 of those hundreds of millions to overwhelm me, I wouldn't have been able to resist no matter what I do and would have been completely brainwashed by you. In fact, if it's you, you could probably brainwash any integration stage cultivator in the bright cold realm immediately. Wouldn't it be possible if you sacrificed tens of thousands of personalities? But why don't you do it? In response to my question, Xia Wei gives a gentle smile. For some reason, I feel as if Xia Wei is showing his true feelings. Quote. Those resources are not meant to be used on the likes of you. The one I truly want to assimilate is someone else. Quote. I see. So that's your goal. Ho ho, what do you think? If the Mad Lord's true goal is to recall his most beautiful moments and die, then Xia Wei's true goal is to brainwash someone. That wasn't a lie just now, was it? I always speak the truth. You're confusing. I laugh, barely shaking off Xia Wei's influence. Xia Wei also laughs and says, well, if I were to give the answer that Taoist CEO wishes to hear, then what I just said is not a lie. Ho, think of it as sacrificing the flesh to take the bones. At the same time, Xia Wei extends both his arms toward me. Quote. Now, then, shall we see if by burning everything for the last time I can brainwash Taoist CEO? This is. My body doesn't move at all. I see, so you've sacrificed your personality as well. It's brainwashing through burning his own personality and embedding it in me. I had certainly broken free of the brainwashing. But I became defenseless when trying to escape from the mental waves he scattered, and in that gap, Xia Li covered my body with the clear scale armor to protect me. Xia Wei pretended to throw information at me, and just like what he had done earlier, he sacrificed another personality to brainwash clear scale armor. The clear scale armor wraps around my body. Ho ho, indeed, the tears of an immortal beast. Because it's the tears of Xiaji, Xia Wei's personality is dissolving inside the clear scale armor, but it's enough to bind me for a moment. My body will not move. At this rate, I will have no choice but to endure his brainwashing waves again. In this moment of life and death, Xia Li laughs. Don't worry, Xia Unyun. What? A dagger by show is meant to be hidden until the very end. Wuduk. Xia Wei's body suddenly freezes just like mine. Then, an old man in black appears behind Xia Wei, smoking a long pipe. As commanded, I secretly followed and hid at the entrance. Master. Xia Li shouts with delight from within me. Well done, Hong Fan. Use the poison you brought. Yes, master. Hong Fan scatters the poison powder from his sleeve. The poison powder seeps into Xia Wei and me, starting to disperse our spiritual power. Ah, I see. Hong Fan had created this cultivation scattering poison when he went to the Earth Tribe territory last time. The effect doesn't last long. At most, about 2 hours. I smile brightly. Then that's enough. Quadududuke. I realize that CO whales will embedded in the clear scale armor has completely dissolved. After moving the clear scale armor aside, I approach behind CO whale, who is immobilized due to Hong Fan's poison. Clench. I grab CO whale's shoulder with a rough hand and bring my mouth close to his ear. How does it feel to have your shoulder grabbed from behind, CO whale? Quote. He just keeps smiling. Now it's my turn. Shall we have a good time for about 2 hours? Boo-doo-duke. My hand completely crushes his shoulder. Hong Fan, cover your ears. Yes. Now begins the fun interrogation time. CO whale, do you know about the being called the seat holder of health, deputy judge, and ancient force true lord, Hainyang? Splurt. Blood spouts out like a fountain from CO whale's 7 orifices. Chapter 320, Farewell to. Splurt. At the same time, blood gushes out of my own 7 orifices like a fountain as well. Damn, as expected, the immortal name, Xianming, has a severe impact on me too. My legs are trembling and it's painful enough that I want to collapse right away. But I don't die. Hong Fan approaches and gives me an antidote for the cultivation scattering poison and some medicine to restore my strength. CO Li is quite something. I didn't always have a glimpse into CO Li's heart essence, so I don't know everything about him. However, I often peeked at him, and in those brief moments when I wasn't watching, he had commanded Hong Fan to stand by with antidotes. His judgment is excellent. I take the antidote and medicine to recover my body, then look at CO whale. I can't use it during battle because it's dangerous for me as well. And even if it isn't during battle, it isn't something I can easily use on others. Only within Lofty Dragon True Person's storage scroll, and because I possess Hainyang's tears, the clear scale armor, is it possible. The name of a true immortal is not a convenient tool. If I'm careless, it can be a poison that devours me. Even if it belongs to a being that has been completely annihilated and can never resurrect again. The reason I could speak, Nyang's name is simply because I have a part of his body, the clear scale armor, and because I am inside his subordinate Lofty Dragon True Person's otherworld, which grants me some privileges. If I had mentioned Yu Hao Te or Yu Su Ryan instead of Hainyang, it wouldn't have ended this easily, and it would have been much more dangerous. As I began to step across the boundary beyond tribulating heavens, I could glimpse CO Li's heart essence, allowing me to gather information through him. At first, I thought I would die the moment I saw that name, but fortunately, I could focus my heart essence and avoid going insane. I wiped the sweat off. Perhaps it's because I recklessly spoke the name of a true immortal, but it feels very hot. Of course, in CO whale's case, it seems to be quite lethal. His face is smiling, but it has already turned pale. I see. Observing him, I am able to glean some information. CO whale can't transfer his influence to another, CO whale, at this moment. That means all the pain and torture happening here has to be endured by his own will alone. That means the connection with the other CO whales is severed. This guy is an abandoned pawn. A discarded CO whale, abandoned by CO whale himself. Answer my questions. I will speak only the truth. Thunk. I drive the Black Ghost Curse banner into CO whale's body. Every time you lie, I will thrust the Black Ghost Curse banner into you. Ho ho, what should I do if you drive it in even when I tell the truth? Thunk. Impressive, in a way, to show such stubbornness even after being abandoned. Abandoned? What do you mean? You're disconnected from the other CO whales. Ho ho, you misunderstand. CO whale smiles faintly. I wasn't abandoned. I was left behind. Quote. Isn't it quite the gain if we can grasp Taoist CO by sacrificing just me? Even if I fail, I can relay some interesting information to Taoist CO. Thunk. Fine, let's say you weren't abandoned. But you better state the real reason you were left behind. Ho ho, would you like to hear an interesting fact? Cut the nonsense and tell me the purpose of you being left behind. Thump. First things first, Taoist CO. Do you know what I saw when I looked inside your canvas of myriad forms and connections? If words like salt come out of your mouth, I'll blow your head off. Oh, it's not that. Taoist CO, did you know that there is someone inside your canvas of myriad forms and connections? What? Flinch. His words send a chill down my spine. Though the surroundings are getting warmer, it feels like an eerie cold is licking the back of my neck. There's someone inside the canvas of myriad forms and connections. I glare at him. Hong Fan. I signal to Hong Fan, who approaches and grabs Sia Whale's head, blowing something transparent into him. I've infused the formless poison. I can adjust the stimulus this person receives through the poison. Can it also function as a truth serum? Absolutely. Since it directly manipulates the brain, it's at least 100 times more effective than a regular truth serum. Is 100 times enough for a 4-axis stage cultivator? Since it directly affects consciousness, it is more than sufficient. Chi. White steam seeps into Sia Whale's 7 orifices. His eyes appear slightly dazed. Is it true that there is someone inside the canvas of myriad forms and connections? I ask while hyperactivating my sight of intent. Although I can't force a confession out of him, the effects of the truth serum can make his intent more apparent. This will make it easier to discern truth from lies. With a faint smile, Sia Whale speaks in a slightly dazed voice. There is a woman inside. Shiver. I feel goosebumps rise at his words. It's not a lie. Then, what kind of existence could so easily intrude my canvas of myriad forms and connections? 9 times out of 10, it must be a transcendent being. And among the transcendent beings I know of, there is only one female. Zhengli, the white-haired heavenly maiden Tian Nu, whose face I couldn't see. The immortal treasure possessed by the owner of heavenly punishment. The sacred artifact of the golden divine heavenly thunder sect, the heavenly lightning banner. Does that mean that being is still watching me? It seems I had left a deep impression on Zhengli. I did make quite an impression in various ways. But to still be under her watch to this extent. Moreover, to secretly enter my canvas of myriad forms and connections to monitor me. I can't help but get shivers down my spine. Single quote. No, wait, then why did we turn into salt instead of lightning? This bastard must have lied to me again. Somehow, I feel a surge of anger. Perhaps it's because the surroundings are gradually heating up, giving me the illusion that my head is turning red. For now, I drive the Black Ghost Curse banner in once more. Thunk. I said I'd thrust the banner if you lied. I was telling the truth. Speak properly. What kind of existence is that woman? Sia Whale smiles meaningfully. What kind of existence? Ho ho. Taoist Seo's canvas of myriad forms and connections. She's an existence that I mistook for your pillar. Thunk. Even though he seems to be telling the truth, his drawn-out speech annoys me, so I thrust the Black Ghost Curse banner in again. Sia Whale doesn't flinch and continues. Your canvas of myriad forms and connections, it was encircling and protecting that woman. What? How is that possible? How could another be protected by my canvas of myriad forms and connections? He smiles with his eyes. In other words, that woman is a precious existence within your canvas of myriad forms and connections. Is that correct? I asked what kind of existence she is. Ho ho, I've already implanted myself in that woman. Since she's a real entity, in a few thousand years, she'll slowly be devoured by me. So, according to your way of speech, you haven't implanted anything yet and are just trying to gauge me with such questions. Thunk, thunk, thunk. I solidify the flow of my intent and expression as I ask him. I'll ask one last time. Who is that woman? Keying. Sia Whale's purpose is clear. This guy was left here to see if he could brainwash me. And, along with causing confusion through flattery and deceit, he aims to figure out what is important to me. But that is impossible. Pot. My heart essence is forged into a sword. At the same time, my sword pours into Sia Whale, piercing deep within him. A strike fully encompassing the plane of soul. As my sword embeds into his heart essence, it seals his connection to the other Sia Whales of the tainted soul filling the heavens. With this, he can never relay information to the other Sia Whales in front of me. This means that whatever information he gathers about me will be meaningless. Sia Whale's eyes twitch, realizing that I have done something to his consciousness. Ho ho, this has become bothersome. It seems you truly wish to taste Hainyang again. Ku, splat. Sia Whale once again splurts a fountain of blood. However, he smiles faintly as he speaks. Is that the true name of the immortal beast Xiaji? Ho ho, that's right. Come to think of it, do you know the common points between the Blood Yin realm's spell techniques and the Nether Ghost realms? Spell techniques, Taoist Seo. Quaduduk. I summon a bunch of Black Ghost Curse banners and embed them into Sia Whale's back. The pain is filled with the agony of castration, pain that was amplified by 60,000 times, and the torment of hearing the name of a true immortal. Sia Whale groans, clearly struggling to endure. Stop changing the subject. Didn't I ask who the woman is? The spell techniques of the Blood Yin realm and the Nether Ghost realm are both powerful. Their common point is, they both borrow power. The Ghost Path method of the Nether Ghost realm borrows the power of the Netherworld, and the spell techniques of the Blood Yin realm borrow the power of Blood Yin. He smiles faintly. This bastard keeps. The higher the level of the technique, the more power it borrows. And in the case of my blood sacrifice ritual, it's a devilish spell directly derived from Blood Yin. Quote. I glare at him, assuming a starting form in case of any unexpected situations. What he's saying feels ominous. I originally didn't intend to use the Blood Yin realm's devilish spells while fighting Taoist Seo. Because Blood Yin is the original owner of karmic fire, and if I use a devilish spell that borrows power from Blood Yin here, it might stimulate the karmic fire and cause it to rampage uncontrollably. He smiles at me. Do you not know what the clear scale armor you're wearing was sealing? What? At the same time, I feel my entire body heat up. This is Qi. When the clear scale armor fell, the flames extinguished, and the temperature of the water flow layer where river streams were surging, started to rise. No, that's not right. Come to think of it, the temperature of the water flow layer, where all the flames had been supposedly extinguished, has been steadily rising, from earlier. Kuururururu. And I see up above. From the above care layer, bright red flames are erupting madly. Damn it, I grab Seo Wayol by the hair and leap back up to the care layer. Harurururuk. Koog. An overwhelming flame engulfs me. It's hot. And, kuog. It hurts. It's unbelievably painful. It's as if the true fire of hell has descended upon the mortal world. KGH, you. Ho, to judge sinners in the afterlife. It's the fire, created for that purpose. Even Seo Wayol barely manages to speak with a strained smile. Judging by this, it seems you've accumulated quite a bit of sin. Guua. Until all your sins are burned away and judged, that fire will cling to your soul and never extinguish. You can't control it as you wish, nor will it completely burn your soul to give you peace. Seo Wayol's lips tremble as he speaks. Even the clear scale armor can only defend against the flames, it cannot extinguish it once it's ignited, as karmic fire is the result of a rightful judgment. If anything, the power of the immortal beast Zayaji that governs the law will support the karmic fire, not extinguish it. Shut up. Stop pretending it doesn't hurt. I lay on the ground, drooling, and barely manage to stand. It's insanely painful, but despite the flames surrounding me, the pain does not increase. It remains constant, judging only the sins I've committed. The karmic fire is burning my soul. The burning of the flames becomes screams in my ears. Those screams are familiar. It's the people I've killed. Bandits killed during my time in the martial world, unorthodox martial artists, chi-building devilish cultivators of the Mokli clan, Yuan Li. I reflect on my life amidst those screams. Surprisingly, I've only directly killed or tortured those from the devilish path. But even those count as sins, and the karmic fire sizzles as it burns me. I hold the clear scale armor and look towards the direction of the Melia tree. Perhaps because of the clear scale armor, the source of the immense heat is emanating from beneath the Melia tree near the lake. I must reseal it with the clear scale armor. Even as my body trembles with pain, I move step by step towards the Melia tree. If left unchecked, the karmic fire could spread outside and engulf the entire bright cold realm. At that moment, suddenly, the screams turn into completely different sounds. Not screams, but wails and groans filled with resentment. The grudges of those who were indirectly harmed by my actions, the sins accumulated from them, begin to overwhelm me. The families of the unorthodox martial artists I killed, their dependents, those who worked for the Mokli clan, etc. The sins of those indirectly harmed by my actions are now bearing down on me. And at that moment, whispers I never want to remember again echo in my ears. Return to thee, quote. It was a moment of folly and lack of restraint that led me to make the entire heavenly human island return themselves. And consequently, the indirect sins from the pain and resentment of all the humans race who suffered because of it. AAA arg. I am in so much pain that I can no longer move, collapsing to my knees on the spot. It's heavy, it's hot, it's painful. Seo Wayol is just smiling, though he seems to be in more pain, but I am not much better. We have both stopped trying to keep each other in check and have collapsed to the ground, screaming together before we knew it. It hurts so much. I see. This is the weight of my sins. I grit my teeth. I won't scream. It isn't just out of stubbornness. I have something to say about the pain from the other sins. They were all people who deserved to die, those who harmed others or took pleasure in their evil deeds. For such people, dying was perhaps a better outcome for the world. I am neither chivalrous nor righteous. I only show kindness to things happening before my eyes, or to things affecting my acquaintances. I might even be considered a hypocrite. But even so, I try to resolve the evil deeds happening before me as much as I can, and killing those people was part of that. But this is different. This is clearly a sin caused by my mistake. This is my sin, my vice, and the punishment I rightly deserve. How dare I deny the traces of my life? Silently, I accept my punishment and endure the pain. The pain is so severe it makes my mind foggy, but I just accept it. Is it because it's a power handled by the chief judge of the netherworld? It feels more tormenting than hearing the name of a true immortal or facing the owner of heavenly punishment. It's the direct power of a true immortal. It would be strange if it didn't hurt. As I am crouched down like that, stuck in place. Step, step, my body begins to move. It's Co Lee. Co Lee, you're not in pain. Strange, Co Unyan. For some reason, I am not in pain. I see, I think I understand why. This is my sin, not Co Lee's. Co Lee has not committed any significant sins. Though his appearance is a bit bizarre, he has never killed a single bug without reason since he was born. Anyway, just hold on for a moment, Co Unyan. I seem to be fine, so I'll handle the ceiling. Co Lee moves my body and walks towards the Melia tree with the clear scale armor. Step, step, the Melia tree draws nearer. Then, Co Lee throws the clear scale armor towards the Melia tree. Chua! As soon as the clear scale armor is thrown under the Melia tree, it quickly expands, turning back into a lake and filling the basin. Chua! Through the power of the Deputy Judge Ancient Force True Lord, the power of the Chief Judge Nether Ghost True Lord subsides. The karmic fire extinguishes again, and the surrounding flames die down. However, I am still in pain. Exclamation mark quote. The pain still doesn't subside. I know the reason why. It's an obvious fact. The karmic fire attached to my soul is still burning. Rather, it's a karmic fire clinging solely to burn me. It will never extinguish until it burns away my sins. And my sin, the sin of evaporating the entire heavenly human island with its population of hundreds of millions, is by no means a light one. Even if it is an indirect sin, its weight cannot be taken lightly. Boo-doo-dook, I endure the pain and stand up. If so, let's accept it. I feel it. Until this karmic fire burns away my sins, it will follow me even through regression. I will have to endure this pain that makes my mind hazy across several lifetimes. This is my life, my history. It is the retribution and resentment I must remember. Thus, it is right for me to remember and engrave it. I will accept it willingly. In my heart, I acknowledge my sins completely and accept the pain. Life is pain anyway. What does it matter if one more pain is added to it? Just as I make that resolution, my vision blurs, and I feel an illusion forming before me. This is the Melia tree. It's the Melia tree that stood before me. However, the surrounding scenery is different. The Melia tree is not at the center of the lake but atop a hill. It's a beautiful garden filled with numerous vibrant flowers. As I lose myself in the beauty of that scenery. Coo-goo-goo-goo, exclamation mark quote. I see an enormous shadow behind the Melia tree. Huck, Hyok, a great being. That figure is a great being. Return to. I almost lose myself and get absorbed by the presence before me without even realizing it. But I manage to pull myself together and avoid returning. The gigantic shadow behind the Melia tree shrinks to a human-like size. I can feel it. The presence before me is showing consideration towards me. At the same time, I feel an immense sense of goodness and nobility emanating from the shadow. From their perspective, I am no different from a bug, yet they lower themselves to match my level. When I ponder this, you are not a bug. The human-like shadow speaks to me. Pardon, I'm startled and ask back. Anyone who can repent their sins holds nobility within them. If one possesses nobility, whether they are a heavenly venerable or a bug, they deserve respect. I feel a subtle nobility and goodness emanating from the shadow's words. Who is your excellency the Great One, and where is this place? Why have I been called here? I did not call you. You came here yourself. The shadow replies. This place is a scene from my memory, left within the power of my karmic fire. Only those who sincerely repent their sins upon facing the karmic fire can enter here. You have entered this place on your own. The power of my karmic fire. Hearing those words, I feel my body shrink. If so, then this being is. Perhaps the Great One is. My name is Yu Hao Te, love of virtue. Why is that? It's clearly the true name of a true immortal. Yet, even hearing it directly, I feel fine. I realize that the shadow before me is lowering themselves, adjusting their level, to show me consideration. I was once known as the seat holder of good and evil, Shan Yi Zuo Zu, chief judge of the netherworld, and the nether devil true lord.